better than ever. And I know right now that I'm going somewhere and I need some cheddar. Oh, baby, better not
So yeah, you're
come.
not looking to sell. You want to engage with like your prospects and buyers. That's a big one. Most executives that you're looking to target, if they do post, like almost nobody comments or likes their post. So that's a good way to stand out, especially if it's like a genuine kind of authentic type post. They're going to remember you. So when you do make that call, the name recognition is going to go like, oh, that's the person that maybe commented on my post. Like I remember those. And so I know other executives will too. If nobody's commenting, but you're regularly commenting, you're definitely going to stand out. And again, cut through the noise. That's a big point of this channel and tool is to find another modern way that you can engage with people on a platform that they're using on a regular basis. So again, be consistent. Don't get discouraged. Just have a game plan and look how you could best use this from a sales and marketing perspective. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show my profile, like making sure that you have a good setup to your profile, good picture, everything filled out, stuff like that. But then also how I use LinkedIn to do searches, and then also how I use LinkedIn Sales Navigator as well. All right, so let's start with LinkedIn here. So obviously, yeah, there's my beautiful girls. We'll get to that in a second. This is your feed, so all the things there. Rhode Island FC, one of my clients. They do a really good job on LinkedIn, so definitely check them out if you're in sports and some of the stuff and content they post. Like it's great. And they've been crushing it too from a sales perspective. But all right, so you want to go to your profile. So click here. There's girls at a Marlins game a couple years ago. Of course, Brittany had them in baseball bows and dresses, so never missed a moment there. And Lammy is still around all these years later, so she took her everywhere, took him everywhere. But again, going back to humanizing yourself, being personable, like those are things that are important to me. Those are things that are relevant to me and things that um, I want people to know about me, and it's a good conversation starter. So to edit this picture, you can click here, go to your edit your cover image, and use that and change out your picture there. If you want to change out your profile picture, you can edit it here. So make sure you have a professional picture or professional photo, not you with your buddies at like a wedding or a frat party or something like that. And then here's where, one that is important where you could change your LinkedIn URL. So you see mine here is linkedin.com/n/Andre-Luck. A lot of times you don't change it. It's going to be this very long URL that it gives you. So come here to public profile and URL, and then you can edit that here. So I changed it to that. It just helps, makes it cleaner. So I like doing that. Um, all right, so let me click out of this. All right, so back to your profile here. All right, so then you want to edit your profile. So obviously your name, the headline's important. So if you're connecting with people, all they really see is your picture and like a couple words in your headline. So if it says account executive at, XYZ sports team, CEO, head of sales isn't going to be excited to accept that connection request. So maybe tell more what it is that you do. So for me, I say helping sports teams and small businesses increase sales, something I do, bringing a modern approach to revenue growth, B2B sports sales specialist, and empowering the next generation of sports business leaders, proud girl dad of three. So not everyone's going to see all this. I'll show you what they actually see when either you send a connection request, like this is one I got. So you see like the beginning part of like their headline. So empowering businesses with AI, SEO, and B2B growth tools. So there's that. And then like you see like in someone's feed here, there we go Devils. We got a big game tonight. So hopefully when you see this, we won against TCU. You'll see like their headline here in their picture. So that's what people see when when you can send a connection request or just in your feed. So you want to make sure that that headline is something that engages them and tells what you do, not just your job title. Um, so that's it from that standpoint. I think one area, yeah, you got your education, everything there. One area that I think you can put featured posts here. So I put like some of my top posts here. So this one was announcing us launching LinkedIn. This was after I had left the Marlins and just kind of making that announcement. This was from a story or the series I did a couple months ago on being an introvert in sales. That was one that I got a lot of response from and feedback from, which was great. And this was another post. So you can put some of your top posts here. You can add a post here and you can change like the order, but that's something people will see when they get to your page. So you want to have that in there. Um, Here's all the post here. And then this is where I can get better. I've just not done it because like I have to go back and do it for all of them. But a lot of people put like their actual highlights, kind of their job description, almost like a resume here. I just have the titles and the teams I work for in the years. But I would probably, if I was to start over, do a description. I just keep like I don't want to like have to go back and look at my resume and see like some of the highlights to put here. But yeah, so that's all the different titles, and I can go back to my very first job as a ticket sales rep. But a lot of people look through this. So when you send your connection request or you send a message, they're going to look back at your history. And I think one of the things that has helped me within sports is, I've worked for some good brands and had a consistent track record of working in sports. But you can put your education, where you went to college, your volunteer opportunities, stuff like that, recommendations. You can request recommendation, ask for recommendation, or give recommendations. So here's a few that I've done. So that's the profile there. Right. So different type of posts I do here. So this is one I posted today. So sometimes I'll post a video with a quick little blurb, hashtags. I don't know really how important they are, but I just continue to do them. This was client announcement with the Trailblazers. I reposted something from our company website. So I try and do it where it's like digestible. Like I talked about the monologue that I did before. So I have like one sentence in a space. I don't know I need to do like full paragraphs. Sometimes I'll put like bullet points. I'll switch up my content, or I have like carousel slides one day. Trying to tag too many people because I think that hurts your engagement too. But I'll do like, some bullet points to kind of break it up a little bit. Um, like this one was probably more of a sales. No, this one, drop your comments below. See if I can find one that was more of a sales call to action. So this one, yeah, this one did really well. So this was from Monday or Tuesday this week. I shared a prompt we did from our training with the Trailblazers, as it relates to using generative AI. And so this one's a little more proactive, a little more direct on like a sales ask. So we are hearing a lot of positive feedback from our B2B sales workshop sports team. DM me to learn how we're modernizing sports sales and how reps are seeing instant results. I'll do that maybe once, maybe twice a week. A lot of times, like I have a poll in here just for engagement. Um, a lot of times I'll just say, hey, share your comments below. Not everyone does it, but looking to try and encourage other people to participate in the conversation. So those are different type of posts that I do. So what I'll go to now is how you could use some of the filters in LinkedIn from a sales perspective. So actually, no, one thing I'll show real quick, messaging. Um, Actually, you need to do this from your phone, so I can't show it here, but on your phone on the LinkedIn app on your phone, you can, if you're connected with somebody, you can send them a message, and there's a little paper clip in the message where you can then send a video or a voice note. Another way to just cut through the noise and stand out and just do something different that's going to resonate. So that's worked really well for me. Just instead of just an email that gets buried under 100 other emails someone's getting that day, like to be able to send a LinkedIn voice note or video message, that's big. All right, so if you're using this from a prospecting or sales perspective, click here in the search bar. You can just hit enter. Or if there's like a certain keyword that you want to type in, like VP of sales, because that's the title that you go after, all that's going to pop up at VP of sales, and the most relevant post from your network are going to pop up. So VP of sales there. But from a search standpoint, there's a lot of different filters. So one I like to look at is secondary connections, and let's make this more real. Let's do Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. second degree connections. So what that tells me is people with a VP of sales somewhere in their job description or somewhere on their LinkedIn profile in the Miami area, and they're a second degree connection. So what that means is they're connected to somebody that I'm not connected to. So that person can make the introduction, and it tells you here who are the mutual connections that you share. So like Lindsay Pine, she works as Modernizing Medicine, so I would reach out to them. I would see if one of these people could make an introduction for me. This is a great way to find new people that aren't already in your pipeline. So that's one filter I like to use. Another one I like to do is connections of. So, for this one, let's just use Brittany, my wife. Look. All right. We could do second degree or first degree. Let's do first degree people she's connected with that she can maybe make it. Let's do second degree that she can make an intro to. So people in Miami that she's connected to that I'm not. So these are all people that, I encourage you to connect with your bosses, your CEOs, your executives, because that's a good opportunity for them to introduce you to people in their network that maybe they have sold or maybe they have pitched, hopefully they have, but if not, if their role isn't like, let's say it's a CFO or somebody that's in more like IT, they may not be always looking from a sales perspective. So that's one. You could also look at like current company if there's a certain company that you're looking to go after. So let's say I was looking to go after roofing and restoration of Florida. All right, cool. John Carr, she's connected to, and Jupiter, and I'm a secondary connection. So you could use current company. Another good one to use is past company. So let's say there was a past company. They work. What that means is they used to work at this company. So let's say like BNI Global was a client of mine. But this person's moved on to a new company. So now I could say, right, they probably, let's say that maybe BNI Global was a big client and they probably touched a product or they were a big part of it. Like I could find people that used to work for that company and maybe there's opportunities there. Another one that I've seen work well for sports sales people is doing like past company of like a sports team. Because people that work in sports, they get it and they kind of want to help you out. So let me reset this. What happened here? Okay, let's reset. All right, all filters. So let's do like Miami, past company. Let's do just like the Miami Heat. Show results. People that are VP of sales that used to work for Miami Heat, they have been in sports. They're in the Miami Fort Lauderdale area. They could probably help me at least, and probably has some empathy for me to try and help me get in at my current company. So yeah, this is an opportunity here. So all right, so that's LinkedIn. And then obviously, yeah, you could look at if you want to do like a school night or something like that based on like an alumni night. So people that went to Nova Southeastern. So I'm looking to do a Nova Southeastern night. I could find people that maybe used to work at the Heat that went to Nova Southeastern. However, filters here, I think a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of powerful, dangerous filters here within LinkedIn. You go by industry, all this stuff. And then the keywords are important too. So really the keywords just search somewhere in their LinkedIn profile. So whatever it is that you're looking to do, like I had a rep that for like Dominican Heritage Night would just type in like Dominican Heritage or Dominican, and all the people that had Dominican in their profile, they'd pop up, and these are people that he could then reach out to one to one. Not a silver bullet, but just helps kind of point you in the right direction and everything like that. All right, so now LinkedIn Sales Navigator. If you have this, I definitely encourage to tap it to check it out. Um, Notifications, obviously, it tells you notifications, people that have viewed your profile. Just because someone viewed doesn't mean I'm going to immediately jump on them, but just keep note of that and see who it is. You could do save searches, and so that gets updated every week. And in here, you could see any new results that came from the save searches. So I'll show you how to do that. Like when I was like one that I did at Miami Sharks was a client of mine. I was helping with business development, so I did people that have rugby in their profile in the Miami Fort Lauderdale area. And so every week I would get an update of people that we could target and reach out to. But the way I use it, I'd start with lead filters and all these filters here. So some of these are ones that we saw on regular LinkedIn um, over here. But obviously there's a lot more you could be dangerous with here in LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So function, job title. So all this you can really get real granular with and like dive into something. So a few that I like to look at. Um, so let's do like let's say I'm pretending like I work for a sports team here in South Florida. So Amerant Bank, they're right down the street here in Coral Gables. They have a huge presence down here, and they actually partner with a lot of sports teams. So this is a good example. All right. So let's say Amerant Bank is someone I'm targeting. Where I'm going to start is like people that are already following my company. So I think that's a little inaccurate. I think it's probably still tying me back to people that followed the Marlins when I worked there. But either way, let's say that they followed your company. So these are people that are already somewhat tied to your company because they follow you. So good people to start with and go after. Viewed your profile recently. So if someone viewed your profile, obviously some way they're aware of who you are, so good person to go after. Again, same connections, first degree, second degree. So if you want to see people you're already connected with at the company, that's a great place to start. If you want to see maybe other people that you can get intro to and who could help make that introduction through the mutual connections, that's an opportunity for you too, depending on what your strategy is with the account. Connections of. So if people like at your company are connected, they can make an intro for you too. Past colleague, that means they work somewhere that you worked before, so that could be a good intro. Shared experiences, you guys are part of like similar groups. That's usually a shared experience. But the ones I like to really look at are change jobs. So that means they're new in their role. You want to give them time. This tells you how long they're in their role and how long they've been at the company. So like this person, 2 months, they're still probably getting their feet wet, trying to figure out where the bathroom is. I'm at 2 months, you should probably know that. But I'll look for someone maybe 7 months in the role. Maybe like that 6 to 9 marks is a good sweet spot where all right, they're settled in, they know what it is that they're looking to do, and maybe open to talking to new vendors about changes that they can make. A lot of times when you're coming in new to a role, you're looking to make impact, you're not necessarily to blow things up and make changes, but you're open to a lot of possibilities to maybe innovate and do things different. So for us, that's a good opportunity in sports. And then I also like to do posts on LinkedIn. Again, trying to cut through the noise. Phone calls, emails aren't getting responded to as much as possible, as much as they used to. So LinkedIn could be a good tool. So if they post it on LinkedIn, which this tells you, like, gives you kind of insight on what each of these sections are. So identify leads who have changed jobs in the last 90 days or who post on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. So if they post on LinkedIn, it means they're active, and they might be more likely to one, accept my connection request, two, if I message them on LinkedIn or LinkedIn Sales Navigator, more likely they'll see it because they're more active. A lot of times we'll have prospects that are like a CEO, but they haven't been on LinkedIn in like 5 years. So that's a good filter for me to use. Then a couple others here too. So you can save your search. Um, and it'll pop into that saved search every week. You'll get emailed and also get an update of all the people that are in that search. So a lot of things I would say, just play around with it, try it out, test it out, see how this works for you. But LinkedIn Sales Navigator has been a huge asset for me. And if your company's not going to pay for it, I encourage you to invest the $100, whatever a month. You're going to get that back in sales and commission anyways. So definitely a tool you should be using from a B2B sales prospecting standpoint.
So that's LinkedIn. So in closing, everything that we talked about here today, so using it from a personal branding standpoint. So looking to grow your network, whether that's from like growing within the sports sales industry, or you're looking to use this from a prospecting standpoint. There's been a lot of deals that I've been able to get from people like, hey, I love this stuff you can post on LinkedIn, would love to chat. I've been seeing a lot of stuff you post on LinkedIn, or like one that came recently was I shared a job posting for a company that I'm doing work with, and someone at another company, somebody was like, oh, I didn't know you work with those type of companies, probably because I talk so much about sports and sports sales, but like that led to another client in a different industry. So just telling your story, sharing, you never know who's going to be checking it out, but get over that hump, get over that hurdle of like worrying about what other people are going to think or what do I post. Just get started, try once a week and build it up to 2 times a week. That was my goal at first, was like, all right, can I post once a month? Because I heard that the top sales performers post 2 to 3 times per month. And I was like, oh my gosh, like how am I ever going to do that? And so it was once a month. And then I started doing every other week. And I was, every other week. Then I was multiple times a week. And then I was like, all right, can I do Monday through Friday? And then I was like, well, why not we just do every single day? So I'm probably about a year where I posted every single day, Monday through Sunday. And like, that's the first thing I do in the morning, is just make sure, and I have my list and everything like that. So just be consistent. I'm not saying you have to post every day, but just get started somewhere. If you're using this in addition to the work you're doing from a sales perspective, you're definitely going to get business results out of it. So as always, hope you enjoyed it. If you like this, click like. That's always great. Share this with somebody if you think it's valuable for them. Comment, subscribe to the page. But as I always say, as I tell my daughters every morning, go be awesome today. And I'll be back next week with another video. Thanks, everyone.
That's nothing. That's nothing. I'ma be doing this and I'm gonna be head hunting. Oh, baby, don't know. Oh, baby, don't go. Oh, baby, don't know. Oh, baby, don't go.